Welcome to the Talk and Chatter experience powered by Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson. Today's guest is business owner and motorsports enthusiast, Myles Gooch. Welcome, mate.
Thanks for having me.
No dramas, mate. Thanks for coming up. It's been a bit of a journey for you.
Yeah, it's all right. It's just coming up for a four-wheel drive show, so it worked out perfect.
Perfect timing. Who's Myles Gooch?
General manager, Unifilter Australia. Father, husband. Just average person, I suppose.
Just a bloke that loves a bit of everything, eh?
Pretty much.
Where, like for anyone that's been around sports, off-road, anything like that, the name Unifilter is everywhere, isn't it?
we've been involved with motorsport for a long, long time, so yeah, we do see it in everything from bikes, cars, four-wheel drives. So yeah.
So that's you at the moment, and you are Unifilter, like as a brand.
Yeah,
Yep.
At the moment we are. Yeah, we just operate in all of the different sports. So bikes, cars, motocross is probably our biggest one over the years, and speedway, and then off-road racing, cars and bikes.
Now you turn your hand at go-karts and a bit of stuff as well. What got you into just doing this sort of sport? Like what was the foundation?
Just fun. Yeah. A couple of mates decided to give endurance karting a go. So yeah, bought a kart and started racing. Haven't looked back.
Is that where it all started? Just doing it as just a fun thing?
Yeah. We just sort of, I know we didn't start till a bit older, and we used to play other sports, and then we thought, we'll just have it a go, and loved it, and just continued doing it from there. So probably three of our best mates all together.
Yeah.
Just do that every seven times a year and have some fun.
That's the fix, isn't it?
Yeah. Once you start, you can't stop.
Yep. Where's some of the places you do that? Like you're based in Somersby. That's head office.
Central Coast, New South Wales. Yeah.
So where do you go from there?
We race anywhere from Eastern Creek in Sydney. Then we go to Canberra, Orange, Dubbo, Coffs Harbour, Port Macquarie.
Yeah.
Pretty much most of the tracks in New South Wales.
Considering your business has been a lot of motorcycle stuff, why go-karts?
I know we do. Four wheels is also a big part of our business, and I know you can't get hurt on four wheels.
Yeah, well, less.
True, less, but yeah, it can happen, but it's unusual.
Now, you're about I don't know, we've had Kyle in the States, Kyle Wyman. We've had Rennie on last week, myself. You're the fourth or fifth person on here with the number 33. Where did yours come from?
Had it for a long time. I'm a Datsun fan, and there's a lot of Datsun race cars. He used to run 33, and from there, just run it from there basically.
Where'd the Datsun thing come from?
Family. My dad's into Datsuns, and
Yep.
I naturally went into Datsuns as well. So
it's one of those things. It's a Datsun, like everything. If you've got something in the blood that's like an enthusiast thing, it's going to carry through.
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't know. You can't get rid of it either.
Have you got one now?
I do.
What do you got?
1600.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's been sitting in the shed for a while. It's in a million pieces, but it'll get built one day.
Will it be a road thing, or will you do maybe some hill climbing type thing? Or
No, just pure road car.
Pure road?
Yeah.
How many of them have been chopped up, you reckon, for hill climbs and rally?
Too many.
Too many?
Yeah.
We had a friend, he had a 1200 Ute.
Oh, yep.
CA or SR motor in it, did the full work and everything. And we're looking for parts of it, and they're still making them at this point up until this is about 2012 in South Africa.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they do over in South Africa, but you do hear stories of parts still coming out of there.
Yeah, like a remod, you know, basically remod part.
Yeah, you can buy Chinese panels and that sort of stuff for them these days, which
Pretty cool.
Keeps them on the road, I suppose.
Pretty handy.
Yeah,
yeah. Be good if they're made here, but it'd be pretty handy to see them still.
Yeah, it's a shame they're not made here anymore, but yeah.
Yeah. So, Unifilter, where did that all start? And I think, what is it, 40...
this year's our 45th year as business.
An Australian business.
Australian business, yeah. Yep. So we've been manufacturing in Australia since 1976.
And where did it start? Was this from your family, or was it
No, my family bought into the business. So the business started out as a distributor of the American brand back in 76 with a license to manufacture in Australia. Right. So that was a small manufacturing back then. And then my dad bought the business in 87
Yeah.
He used to supply hardware parts, like hardware items to the business, and then it came up for sale, and he bought the business then, sold the hardware, bought Unifilter,
Wow.
and then we've just grown it from there. So he had a rally background, so he had understanding of the industry,
Yeah.
and we just took it. He took it from there, and it's just progression since.
It's huge, mate.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Growing up as a kid, like in dirt track and speedway and that, it was everywhere.
Yeah, it's definitely a well-known name in Australia. Considering we are made here, so a lot of people do support us from that regard.
Yeah.
It's good.
Is it a big, being Australian made? It has to be a big thing for you guys, hey?
Especially at the moment, 100%. It's very important to be Australian made. We've seen a lot of other air filter companies manufacture in Australia and then leave, go overseas, start manufacturing over there. We're the last automotive air filter manufacturer that's left in the country.
Really?
That's 100% Australian owned and made.
Yeah.
There are other companies that are Australian owned, but their products are made offshore.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a huge thing. Like in a time where products are being like bailed out overseas to do by the million. It's a pretty cool thing, eh?
Yeah, we're proud of the fact that we've managed to stay here. We have the opportunity to move offshore, but decided no, we wanted to keep it here, and we've changed the way we manufacture a lot of our products in the last 10 years, which has enabled us to stay here.
More efficient manufacturing.
Yeah,
process.
we've brought in some new machinery that's sort of been developed with other Australian companies to allow us to continue to manufacture here.
I've been lucky enough, obviously, doing some work with yourself and to tour and be part of your factory. And yeah, it's unreal to see. My background's engineering. I've been to every brewery, mine site, refinery in Australia and Papua New Guinea, basically, and the South Pacific. And it's cool to see your facility, technology, everything that's going through it, which is probably something that you wouldn't, in decades ago, you wouldn't have ever seen anything like that here. Yeah,
our industry's hard as well. None of our machines that we have are made for what we do.
Yep.
We have to adapt machines to suit what we require. And it's been testing times at some stages along the way.
Developing things is always the hard part, eh?
It is. But saying that, it's also allowed us to do products that no one else can do because they don't understand how we can make the things we make. And
the agility to be able to change things at your own level, hey?
Oh, it's made a big difference. Like now we just made a new CRF 450 air filter last week.
Yeah.
We're just able to get our hands on a bike, which we hadn't been able for a while, and we'll be able to take the bike from pick it up. It was dropped off in the morning. We had a filter made for the customer that afternoon, stock on the shelf the next day.
Wow.
So within 24 hours, we were able to take a filter, develop a new one, and have stock on the shelf.
Wow.
Whereas,
huge.
10 years ago, that would have taken us 6 weeks.
Yeah. So. And a business, like a global business, it'd take 2 weeks to create the part number.
Yeah.
Sub-engineering, drawing, like there'd be a whole process that goes through that as well, hey?
Yeah, where we can do the drawing as we go.
As you go.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. How is the process? Because you do custom stuff. How does it actually... What's the average day of, say someone wants a filter, KTM comes to, we want a filter manufacturer, we're having trouble here, or want any brand.
Yep.
How's it go? What happens?
We get, actually saying that, we do get a lot of requests from companies, not just in Australia, but around the world to fix problems. That's a big part of our business, and KTM is actually one of them. We do some filters for their 690, which is sold through their power part. So they'll come to us and say, we've got a dust issue with this bike, or we want to improve something here. They'll just send us either an airbox or a motorbike and say, can you sort this out? And we'll just take it, have a look at it, work out what the issue is, and then develop it from there. And usually we can have it fixed within a couple of days for them. If it's really involved, probably a few days. If it's a simple fix, we can do it the same day.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. But once you've made one filter or fixed one problem, usually you can fix it.
You nut it out.
Yeah, pretty quickly. So it's not rocket science.
No, it's not. But from outside, it is.
Oh yeah, probably from the outside.
You've been involved in it for years and years now.
Yep.
From the outside, it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. That not many things you can change a full path in a day.
No.
So,
but that's a benefit probably of being a little bit smaller of a company too.
Yep.
Yeah, so we don't have to go through 10 sets of hands before we get an answer or signed off on.
In your time, how many years have you been part of?
This is my 24th.
Wow.
Yeah.
How's it changed?
A lot. A lot. I started working for the family when I was 19.
Yeah.
And it was very much everything was handmade, which is majority of the business still is my products are handmade, but we've been able to incorporate a lot of like CNC machines to help do the bulk of the cutting out, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's changed a lot. Just the way we manufacture stuff, the machines we use, the way we produce dies to make filters, all that sort of thing. It's just come a long way.
Because like you've got a die rack, like every business has got a die rack.
Yep.
A lot of that stuff would have been from the past too, I guess. Like you'd still have to hold on to all the
we do.
tooling,
We make air filters for bikes. We go back to the 60s.
Wow.
So pretty much every dirt bike from early 60s onwards, we make a filter for. We do a lot of old cars as well. A lot of filters for cars that you can no longer buy air filters for. People will send us something and we'll copy an old filter, even if it's can hardly hold it together. We'll try and recreate it for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you have a love of motorsport? Like obviously saying your dad had rally and stuff.
Yep.
Did you have a love of motorsport personally?
Yeah, well, been around the business since I was young. I used to go to motorbike like races all the time, car races all the time. Yep. Yeah. Got to meet a lot of my idols back in the day, which most people don't really get to do.
Yeah.
And then, it's been unreal.
Just going.
Yeah.
I know the last time we caught up was probably, I think, with the last two sitting up at Transmotor Conondale.
Yep.
We got to talk about Speedway and stuff. That's a big passion of yours, eh?
Oh, I love Speedway, yeah. The respect you have for those riders is insane.
Yeah.
They're a different breed.
It's just another level, eh?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? Did you just go to one event and then just get hooked, or?
No, probably the way I've started to get involved with it was through the holders. Mick Holder contacted us back in the day when Chris was young and James was young, and asked for sponsorship. And we'd never sponsored a Speedway rider.
Really?
Before that.
Wow.
So I'd say Chris was probably 12, and James would have been maybe 13. Yeah, it was.
Damn.
Went from there and haven't looked back since.
Because like to look at it now, you've had heaps of Speedway dirt track ride, like heaps come under the Unifilter banner.
Yeah, so a lot of the Aussie riders have probably sponsored at some stage.
Yep.
We still sponsor a lot now, so we've still got Jack Holder, Sam, who else?
Sam Masters.
Sam Masters, yeah,
Yep.
sorry, yeah. Who else have we got on the moment?
Yeah, Jason Doyle for a while.
We had Jason Doyle up until, so he won his last world title. He was using Unifilter, and then changed mechanics, and that changed.
Yeah.
So there's still a few out there that we look after.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
How did what happens? Do you export at all, or do you?
We do, yeah. We do a bit of export. Speedway filter wise, we go through a couple of shops in the UK.
Yep.
And then a lot of it's just direct
to the
rider. It's been a small industry. A lot of it's done direct.
There's much change. Like if you look at a Speedway bike from a blank person's eyes, it looks the same as it always has. But things have evolved.
Yep.
Has there been much development over time in different filters and stuff? Do they ask for much or anything like that?
Not really. We've tried a few different versions over the years. We've probably had maybe four different versions of our 500 filter for the 500s. It's very minimal. Just we'll change the way it's constructed. That's about it. Yeah.
Okay. It's such a raw sport, eh?
Oh, it is.
What you went to New Zealand?
Yeah, we went to the first one in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unreal.
What was the favourite? Like you obviously, I know you did Melbourne.
Yep.
And you had a good experience at Melbourne. I remember you talking about this.
Yep.
But what was your favourite, New Zealand or Melbourne? And why?
I think Melbourne, the first Melbourne. Just walking in. The sound and the smell in that place was, yeah. And when watching Doyley win the world title, that was unreal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to see any local boy take out a world title,
home soil.
Yeah, this doesn't happen very often.
No, it really doesn't, and not very often things come to the last round.
Yeah.
You know, like everything. I don't know. Sport's gotten so good. Everyone's refined to a point. Like you look at Marc Marquez, he's wrapped titles up 3 rounds before it finishes. Like if there's someone that's really good, it's like they're head and shoulders, not good, like better, but it's like they're just, I don't know, they've just got that little percentage more sort of thing.
Yeah.
So to see something come to the last round and there's still a lot of people vying for something's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. I've never been overseas to watch Speedway. I watched Chris win his world title live on TV. I thought that was unreal. But then
2012?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then to see Doyley do it on home soil, the atmosphere was unreal.
And there's only been, I think we've only had 4 Speedway world champions.
Yeah, Carnegie, correct, yeah.
Jason Doyle, Chris Holder, Crumpy, and the first in 54, I think it was, like 4 people over the whole time and then one to come home sort of thing. That's pretty cool.
It is, yeah, definitely.
Why, apart from sight, smell, sound,
Yep.
why Melbourne over New Zealand?
Oh, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
I just think
New Zealand had a good feel though, hey?
It did have a good feel. I just think the viewing in Melbourne was unreal.
Yeah.
You could see the whole track. Yeah. Like you could see the whole track in New Zealand, but it just weren't as high, so you couldn't probably see the up as detailed.
It was like watching the proper, like what everyone, like a mainstream sport. It was the first time for an Australian to see it like in a mainstream eyes, to sit in a nice grandstand with really good facility. You know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a shame they didn't get a bigger crowd, but
Yeah.
even still, the atmosphere was still
huge.
good. Yeah.
Well, even the Friday, like, did you go the Friday?
Yeah,
day?
yeah.
So the Friday practice before, like, there was only a handful of people there, and just walking in, and the first time, like, you got the monster trucks sitting, like Monster Energy trucks sitting there, and I don't know, it had like a big event feel.
It was unreal. Mick Holt organised a tour for young up-and-coming speedway riders for that first one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they had probably maybe 12 young riders from all around the country were given the opportunity to do tour, and then they went down on the track and got to walk along the track and meet all the riders.
On the Friday?
On the Friday.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an unreal experience just to be, because we were part of that too, and it was just unreal to be able to get down on the ground level on the track and sort of get them to walk through the pits and meet, all the top riders of the world. It definitely made it. If you're a speedway rider that you weren't 100% sure that you wanted to do it, that sort of pushed you.
Sold it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And like kids that are into whatever it is, like if they're into football, they idolise the football people. Kids that are into speedway are going to idolise it. What a awesome opportunity. Hey?
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Especially for Australian kids. We're so far away from everything.
Yeah. It's not like you can just jump on a plane and go watch a
World
World Speedway round, can you?
No, that's it. Like we've had it here for 4 times or whatever.
Yep.
Sydney, and what did we get? 3 in Melbourne or 2?
It's only 2. The third one got cancelled.
That's right, it was. Yeah. So we nearly had 3 here. Nearly had 3 in Melbourne, but Sydney and the 2 in the modern history, and to have that opportunity is pretty cool.
Definitely.
Who was your favourite rider at that time? It has to be an Australian.
I got a soft spot for Chris.
Yeah.
I love the way he rides. Yeah.
Just loose.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Watching Darcy Ward too when he was riding, he was just no fear. But yeah, I think Chris definitely. I just like the way he style. Like Doyley's got a good way of riding too. But yeah, Chris just let it hang out if he wants to.
That year with Doyley, that was actually the year before was just as good too until the injury.
Yeah, he probably should have had
better.
2.
Yeah, probably better I think even the year before.
Yeah.
But that was I don't think I've seen anything like it.
No,
just just the starts riding up high. It was unreal to watch.
Yeah. Just clicks for you, doesn't it?
Sometimes it must. So, what about Pedersen?
Yep.
He had some good times.
He's a fantastic rider. I think he's pretty much a love-hate sort of
That's
rider.
what you need.
Yeah, but
you need someone.
All sport needs that.
They do.
Yeah,
they need a fill-in.
Yeah, you do. Every sport has one.
It was cool to see the passion.
Yeah,
the passion between 2 sides. Like it got pretty fiery.
It did. I remember watching Chris with the world title, and they nearly had blows.
Yeah, it was close. and the was it Jack?
Yeah.
Or was it James? I'm just trying to think. I think it was
Jack.
It was Jack, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So then Sam had words with him too at the Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah, that was full on. That was Sam's wild card.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that now.
Sam's the nicest kid as well. Not a kid anymore, but
he's from your way, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from Newcastle. So yeah.
He's back in Oz still at the moment.
No, he's still over there.
He's still.
Yeah, he stayed.
There?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I think it just became too difficult for him to. I think Jack was the only one that came home.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's gone back now.
Gone back.
Yeah.
Yep. Because everything's starting to get back underway, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Very cool. Events, like you've obviously been participant in a number of events as like a sponsorship side and everything like that. Why do you support it so much? And this isn't a wrong way to look at it, but why do you support back into it so much?
I think you have to. The sport needs it.
Yeah.
Without industry support, I don't think there is one. You can have your big companies like KTM's or your Yamahas, people get involved, but I think the little guy is just as important as the big guy, because without having the smaller companies, you really don't. The Australian industry is going to struggle. So it's always good. It gets your name out there and gives up people options than buying imported products.
It's like, I'm not going through this as an ad for Unifilter for people listening. It's not. It's just you're someone I appreciate so much, and it's cool to see an Australian business. But Transmoto, Motocross Series, some off-road stuff. Everywhere you go, there's Unifilter representation, like as in standing there having a stand.
Yeah,
it's a huge thing.
It is, but it's an important part.
Yeah.
Like, it obviously keeps your brand out there.
Yeah.
But it also creates support for the smaller rider. Like we like to support a lot of younger riders and a lot of independent riders, as well as the teams, of course. But I just think it shows some loyalty to a lot of the ones that don't have everything and don't have access to everything. It's sort of, we just like to help those.
It's huge, mate.
Yeah,
and it's something I hope other people see as well. Like to have on-field representation, like you're at these events yourself, showing people oil and filters and that. It's not something that should go unnoticed, I feel.
Oh, thanks. But I like to get out there and to stay amongst it, because I think if you don't get, if you're not amongst it, you sort of lose touch with what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's been the biggest change in the last decade
in regards to
retail space, off-road markets, road market? What is it? What's been the thing that's evolved the most?
Market-wise, probably adventure bikes has been the biggest.
Really?
Oh, it's changed massively. I think it's probably revitalised the industry.
Wow.
Yeah. I think motocross and off-road's probably quiet down a bit, maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Right.
And then adventure bikes filled that market.
Yep.
Yeah, they've really... every brand's got an adventure bike now. Some of the best-selling bikes in the country are adventure bikes. And it's also brought a lot more money into the dealerships. Like you're buying a bike that's 20 grand, plus then the guy goes out and spends another 10 grand fitting it out. I think it's been probably the best thing for the industry.
Lucrative thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And they tend to people buying that bike tends to have some money and they're not really scared to spend it.
And face it, like Australian roads, they're probably the best thing to have on an Australian road.
Oh,
like our roads are roads and off-road. Like we've got a pretty good nation for those.
Oh,
bikes.
we do. We've got all conditions, don't we?
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah,
mate. When I was working with you down at your base,
I
had an adventure bike at the time, and you said to me, "Good luck getting that air filter out.
Yeah,
you might want some Unifilter pre-filters." I had a go. Man, I'm not going to say the brand or anything.
I know the brand.
What a mission, mate!
38 bolts, I think it is.
Oh,
I've done it a few times.
Blood knuckles, 5 hours, and I didn't get it out. I should have took the advice and got some pre-filters.
Yeah,
hard work, eh?
They are.
Yeah,
they're slowly changing. But
are they?
The new couple of the new bikes now are quite easy, but yeah.
Hey, you've got to take the front mudguard off.
Some of them you've got to take the fuel tank off.
I had to take the fuel tank off. So, like the surround, you had to take all the bolts for the front guard out, and then all the plastic clips that come from the inside near the speedo cluster and that. And then you've got to wheel it all forward.
Yep.
And that's when you can access the tank bolts to get to the tank.
Yep.
And then by that time, I'm like 3 hours in of trying to get the front guard out, and relatively handy, relatively not. But, man, no.
Yeah.
It's staying in there.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere having to service it, would you?
No way. No, and I've looked at the other brands as well, like Oppose,
Yep.
and it's heaps easier. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be like that.
There's a few of them now that have made it a bit more user-friendly. But, yeah, still a couple of them are quite hard.
I should have taken your advice.
That's why we do a lot of the pre-cleaners, just to help the rider be able to service something without having to pull the bike apart in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing. Like, you've got an adventure bike. Hopefully, they're not like, the four-wheel drives that just go to school and back. You want to be able to hopefully take them on some dirt and, get them dirty. And I couldn't get that filter out. So I guess that's where the pre-cleaners are a good thing.
Ah, definitely.
Should have taken your advice. I sold it now. I couldn't
work on it.
No, I couldn't work on it. I'm like, if I can't work on it, and I've gone back to an 04 ZX10, and I know I can get everything out.
Yeah.
I can do everything on it, apart from the two middle spark plugs that my hands are too big. But so adventure bikes there's a huge market. Hey?
Oh, it's just constantly growing.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's probably our biggest segment in the motorcycle industry now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You enjoy going to the Transmoto events?
I love them. Yeah, I think they're the best run event there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the participation from both. You get pros, you get punters. It's great.
It's like a pro-am.
Pretty much, yeah.
I feel that those events are like a pro-am. You get to ride with some of the best riders around.
What other sport can you just rock up and jump on a dirt bike and go for a ride, and next minute you're getting passed by the top 3 riders in the country.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
and seeing all the support that all those riders have there. Like you 1 minute you'd be sitting there watching, I don't know, Milner.
Yep.
Just flying past. Next minute he's sitting in the pit just chatting to kids, and it's relaxed.
Yeah, not last year because there wasn't too many events, but the year before, it's Nabiak. Toby's on his Dakar bike. I mean, not many people riding their dirt bike, and then you see a Dakar winner come past on their Dakar bike.
On their Dakar bike, and then Todd Waters as well, like the motocross champ for that year.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, no, they're onto a good thing, and if people haven't done one, they should.
Yeah, definitely. Are you going to them this year?
Yeah.
That's on again.
Yeah, we're doing it. Going to all of them this year.
What's up, Coffs? Is that for
Coffs is in
4 weeks?
3 or 4 weeks. Yeah.
What day is that? Do you know?
Around the 12th or 14th of next month.
Of April.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm riding Coffs in late April.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Is it the same weekend as Transmotors? Hope not. But
no, it's a middle weekend of April. I'm pretty sure.
How's the four-wheel drive market? Obviously, you're here for a four-wheel drive expo. This will get released this week. So anyone that's listening, four-wheel drive expo is at Brisbane.
Yep. So it's on at the showgrounds. Yeah, it's four-wheel drive market's it's really good at the moment. Yep. It's similar to the bike industry. It had a bit of a slow period 7 or 8 years ago, but the last 12, 18 months, it's just been out of control.
Really?
Yeah. It's just picked up, I don't know, probably 30, 40% in the last 12 months. I think pandemic had a bit to do with it, people spending their money locally, which has been helpful, but it's been good. It's
the pandemic's obviously be one part. There's a lot of people saying, it's the super money, it's this and that, but a lot of it's not. A lot of people are just not travelling.
It's also a lot of people have changed cars that they're buying. So instead of people buying a Commodore or a Falcon, they're now buying a dual cab Ute or a Land Cruiser or a Patrol, things like that. Which is so that the market's changed. I think that's also had a big effect on it.
It's pretty hard to buy a sedan now.
Yeah, there's not
really.
It's only the top end of the market that really does sedans anymore, like your BMWs or Mercedes. There's not many of the Japanese.
Not really.
Bring out.
It's all
sedan.
SUV, like you can start yourself off with a CX-3, CX-5, like if you go Mazda, and a lot of it's SUV. RAV4.
Four of the top 10 selling cars in the country now are four-wheel drive Utes.
Really?
Yeah.
Hilux,
Ranger, I think the BT50.
Wow.
And then you got both Land Cruisers, and
you can't get a Land Cruiser now.
No, well, I've been hearing that they've stopped even taking the orders people took for the last of the 200 series have been cancelled because they can't get engines or something. There's something going on there.
Do you support any of the shows? Before I mention a show, do you support any of the four-wheel drive YouTube shows or
No.
So like say Explore 4x4.
Yep.
Them guys, and there's a handful of others, they've made the 79 Cruiser, like, I feel anyway, everyone wants them, like, because there's been an influx of four-wheel drive shows and camping and outdoor shows the last 5 years. And, the Cruiser Ute has just been, like, just built like a cult status again.
It has, yeah.
You know, and I think they're a big part to do with it.
Oh, definitely. Those shows are great for the industry.
Highlighting it.
Yeah,
you know?
and they've just, I don't know, they've gone nuts. Our sales for those vehicles has been great.
Yeah. Mate, have you seen the development for the new 300 series Cruiser?
Haven't seen much on it, no. There's been not much released.
Whispers.
Yeah.
They reckon a hybrid package or something's coming down the line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced, but...
What do you reckon of electric vehicles?
They're a great concept.
That's a good start.
They're not good. They're not good for my industry, like as in for airfielder wise. But I think they're great for Europe. I don't know how they work in Australia.
For our space.
With our space, our vast areas that we travel. How many people in Australia travel an hour and a half to work every day?
A lot.
Yeah, if you're in an electric vehicle, until the range gets better, I don't see them being a huge part of our market. Not in the near future.
There's a space there for them.
100% there is. If you're in the city and that's all you travel, 100%. Yep. But if you have to travel, you know, from where I live, like in Sydney, if you're traveling from the Central Coast to Sydney or vice versa every day, down and back, that's, you know, you're doing 140 to 200 Ks a day. You're pushing the limit of
at the current space.
Yeah. So, and you wouldn't want to be stuck in the middle of, you wouldn't be trying to cross Australia with an electric vehicle. Couldn't be done.
No way.
So, unless you've got a generator or something.
Oh, you imagine it. It'll be, it'll come at some point.
It's definitely coming, but it'll be a long time, or probably next 20 years, I think, before Australia is ready for it.
Yeah, the infrastructure's in place, and at the same time, we're too spread at the moment.
Yeah,
it's gradually decreasing. Like, man, you drive down the freeway and there's not many trees left between here and the Gold Coast anymore. No. We're a lot more compact, but it's just not here yet.
No.
Is it something that you've thought of, like with electric vehicles and filters and stuff, as time goes by within the business?
Yeah, we're always changing our business as well. So we don't just do automotive air filters. We do industrial products.
Yep.
We do products for like garden industry as well. So chainsaws and blowers and things like that. We do stuff for the medical industry as well. And we also do a lot for like sewage treatment products. So we do all the aerating pumps for your sewage pumps. We do all air filters for those.
Serious?
Yeah. So there's other parts which you've got to diversify to stay afloat, really.
Yeah.
So
that's just the modern way of business, isn't it? You can't be just so centric to one thing.
No, if you get stuck doing the one thing,
it's all over.
Yeah.
I was doing some work with a major vehicle manufacturer the other week, and they were talking about their new vehicle. It's an electric vehicle, trying to justify workshop time because it won't. How like you're not coming in for a service anymore.
Yep.
The updates are going to be remote via an app.
Yep.
How do we justify our workshop allocation hours now? I'm like, wow, that's huge. It's something I never thought of too much with it. The only thing that they can really do is that there'll be certain things, but it'll be tyres,
things
like
still
that.
Mechanical parts, steering, suspension, that sort of things.
But your general day-to-day bread and butter service work, that'll be a bit different.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, wow, that's pretty. You know, tyres was a huge thing because they were the weight and 100% torque, 1% throttle, all that torque.
Yep.
Coming to the tyre is going to wear tyres quicker. That was one thing. These are just things that people are saying to me. I'm like, yeah, wow, that's pretty. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think they definitely got their place.
Yeah.
But forward drive, I find it's going to be difficult to adapt.
I agree.
Because you can't go bush and have something go wrong.
Nah.
Like flat battery, what do you do?
Yeah. And what do you do?
Yeah. Water, what happens when the water gets into the electrics and things like that?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure they'll sort it.
Yeah, it'll come through.
How long will it take to do that?
Definitely. Have you seen the Cybertruck, that thing that Tesla did?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Ugly.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah,
I like it in a way. I like to see how things evolve and design work changes.
I love the concept.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And it's got to be there, But yeah, when I first looked at it, I was like, I actually really liked it. I was like, this is cool. Like, this is something from Demolition Man, And then, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see once it actually gets on the road.
Yeah.
And it will, but it'll be interesting to sort of see.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, electric vehicles definitely a common thing.
Yeah, there'll be a place. Like we still make filters for lots of different things, and so yeah, still be here for a long time.
How'd you get into doing like this medical stuff and the sewage stuff? Did it come to you, or is it...
Most of it comes to us? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an area that we chase, but usually just through contacts, or they just say, "Oh, these guys can do pretty much make whatever you like," and then they'll suss us out and go from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is. Yeah. It's definitely, it keeps it interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
With being like Australian product, is there some sort of like an Australian board or an Australian thing that you all get together and talk about manufacturing or anything?
There's not really. Shame there isn't.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of Australian manufacturers.
Yeah.
We're not as big as what we used to be.
There's still a lot.
Still a lot. But we try and keep everything we do Australian products as well. So,
right.
Well, the only product that we don't, unfortunately, isn't Australian is our foam that comes from Germany. We used to use an Australian-made foam, but they got sold to an overseas company, and they moved all their manufacturing of their foam offshore,
right.
And their quality dropped for a while. So we're forced to find another supplier. So we've get our foam out of Germany, which we find is the best quality foam.
Is that right?
Yeah, but every other product we use is manufactured in Australia.
Wow.
Our packaging comes from Australia.
Yeah.
Everything.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
It'd be good. It would be good to have some sort of board of manufacturers that can all get together and maybe change efficiencies, maybe help each other. How can we do filters for you, or how can
it does happen? Like we do get contacted by other Australian companies looking for us to do stuff for them, even though probably a little bit more expensive than them going overseas to get made. Yeah, our turnaround time's a lot better. So yeah, it would be good.
What, say in the motocross market?
Yep.
Because that's what I know a bit of. What's the difference with your foam to someone else's?
The quality of the foam we believe is probably the best.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cheaper brands out there, which their foam is made in Asia or India or somewhere like that.
Wow.
And the way it's produced is there's two different ways of producing the foam, whether it's reticulation, which is air filter foam is reticulated foam, how they foam becomes breathable. So it can either be done using a gas and exploded, which our foam is, or you can also use a chemical to create make the foam become
like the raw product.
Yeah, and so if it's one that's done with a chemical, you do run the risk of the foam starting to, if they don't wash the chemical out of the foam properly and it becomes contact with moisture again, it starts to react, and then the foam starts to fall apart. Damn. Yeah, so there's a big difference. Like our foam's probably twice as expensive as what a cheaper air filter foam would cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just as a raw product.
Just as a raw product,
before you mould it, manufacture it, cut it, everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now, I guess does it comes in sheets, rolls? How does a product come?
It comes in a block. So our block of foam starts out as a 2 metre by 1 metre by 600 block, and then we get it processed as in cut into sheets, profile cut.
That's the whole process.
Whole process, yeah.
Yep.
So,
mate, that's huge, eh?
Yeah. You have to buy, like if we do one particular colour, we buy 60 cubic metres of foam at a time per colour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, are colours just a dye?
Yes.
It is? It's not like a difference in grade or something?
Oh, you can get a grade of any colour made if you like. Yeah, it's not just...
It's not just, if it's green, it's going to be 2 parts per million get in or something?
Yeah, you can do it that way, but you can also get a green. We currently have 4 grades of foam.
Okay.
And you can get all our colours in different grades.
Right.
We have it in specific grades.
Yep.
But yeah, we could order if we wanted to. We could order whatever grade we like in whatever colour we like.
So it's just choosing what you personally want, or what the market probably wants. I guess.
Correct. Yeah.
So
yeah,
what looks good out in the market and everything.
Yeah.
Now, your relationships with businesses and stuff like that, like in motocross and that, are all long term. That must be, like you mentioned before, loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
That must be a big thing for you. Eh?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like we've been sponsored the Yamaha race team, like motocross teams for CDR and Yamaha factory before that since pretty much day one.
Wow.
So I think 78, I think we started our relationship with Stephen Gall.
Serious?
And we still have a relationship with Stephen today.
Wow.
So, yeah. He's been our longest supported rider. Yep. Yeah.
78?
Yeah.
Man, that's huge.
Yeah. So we supplied filters to him only a month ago.
What's he riding?
I was on a 250 Yamaha.
Yeah, okay. It's not... I wouldn't be surprised if it was some unique, weird, but just a standard YZ 250.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, a lot of our relationships with a lot of our race teams have been long term.
Yep.
Like we're with Kawasaki race team for a long, long time. So through when Brett Whale had the team, then went through to factory Kawasaki, then when it went through to Kev from Cool Air had the team.
Oh, that's
and
right. Yeah.
Then when Troy Carroll took over the team, stayed with them the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've had them. It's only up until probably the last 2 years we no longer deal with the Kawasaki race team.
Yep.
But previous to that, it's probably 20 years.
Wow, it's long term.
Yeah.
Can't believe Yamaha. That's a long commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, we manufacture for Yamaha.
Yep.
Like some GYTR parts and some OE ATV parts, and we've been doing that since about 94.
Does anyone know that it's yours? Like, not does anyone know, but if you looked at it, is there a Unifilter marking?
There's no Unifilter mark on there.
It's GYTR parts.
GYTR parts, yeah. But they do, they do come from us.
Yep. Have you had any unusual requests from a race team? Like, have you had some sort of thing where it's, I don't know, we're going out to the worst place in the world? Like, say a motocross team, do they come to you with anything, or is it all pretty much, here's the model year, can you manufacture to this?
Oh, we do some custom work for them. So if they want a Supercross filter or something like that, we'll make it out of a different grade foam. Mm-hmm. We've done that in the past, but there's not a huge amount of difference that you can really do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we do some different things from time to time.
Yep.
Like race car wise, way different. There's a lot of custom.
Really?
Yeah, things like
what
that.
is in drag car?
V8 supercars, things like that. Yeah.
Do you do much for that?
Not these days. We did a lot before.
Yeah, right.
Probably up until the modern supercar.
Why'd that change?
Everything's gone pretty much the same. So now that you can't go down it.
Panel.
You can't go down your own path of designing your own parts these days. Like every team used to be different. Now they're all very, very similar.
Yeah. So they'd all buy their same whatever brand filter.
I used to get all the we pretty much did the whole field from I don't know 90s through to early 2000s.
Yeah.
And every one of them was different.
Really?
Yeah.
Similar?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, and they all had to be. No one could tell anyone what they were doing, and it was good.
Yeah, I reckon that's cool.
It made your job interesting.
Yeah, trying to design different things.
Yeah, and they'll come to us and say, "What do you reckon of this?" And you make something. They try it. Yeah. No, we don't want that. Try this. Yeah, it was good.
That's cool.
It kept you on your toes and made you develop new products too.
Yeah, and I guess probably the pre-non-disclosure agreement time, but you had to keep it secret.
Oh, it was still still there. Pretty much a handshake point. Yeah,
but it's still the same deal.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
We've got thousands of patents of different race car filters.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Do people still, because those cars are still floating around, quite a lot of them.
Yep.
Do people still come to you for them?
Yeah. Like it's only last year we did some stuff for the Craig Lowndes, the green-eyed monster car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so when they restored that,
we
redid those filters, which we hadn't done for, I don't know, 15 years or whatever it was.
That was a cool looking car.
Oh, I think it's probably my favourite livery on the car.
And the green headlight covers.
Yep.
Just finished it so well.
Yep.
So that was considering the AU Falcon wasn't a win for them.
It was a plain looking car, but the green made it.
It made it good.
Stood out.
The AU for Ford just wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a win. you know? So it was like just transplanting a Taurus here at the time. Yeah.
It's like different times now. Even back then, you used to deal with the drivers direct.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so Craig at the time?
No, like sort of like Glenn Seaton would ring you up, or Larry Perkins would ring you up, things
Martha
like that.
Arkham, I guess, as well.
Yeah, we did a couple for them.
Yep.
Yeah, but it was now you wouldn't get that.
No, there's a House of Chiefs now.
Yeah.
So, do you follow the supercars much?
Yeah, still follow it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Is it going in a good direction? In your opinion?
My opinion, I'd like them to go back to the Group A type setup.
Yeah.
I like to see innovation, people coming up with their own design.
Mm.
But that has to cost cut. You've got to do what they're doing now, don't you?
I love it. I love the sport. I think it's a fantastic sport. I have a trouble with the aero packages that they keep talking. Like everyone's talking about it within it. It's just so hard to get it past now. Like you look at the races, like the first race of the year at Bathurst, the biggest pass is the pits or the start. That's it, you know. And then once they get out of the there's no slipstream advantage. You get out and you've just got aero wash and it's gone. You know.
I think all motorsport's gone that way. I look at rally sort of lost its way as well.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the cars aren't.
Rally goes through phases, hey.
Yeah, we used to do a lot for rally as well, and it's just gone more production based for local stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I know back we used to do the stuff with Possum Bournes for his WRC car.
Wow.
Like what a machine that was.
Yeah, awesome cars.
Yeah, like there's one. He came to our factory to.
Really?
Yeah.
Purpose built, eh? Those cars, like they every detail for the Possum Bourne cars, and they're massively purpose built.
Yeah, like, and it's just insane.
So, why'd he come here? Like, was he just here racing, or
Because when he was in racing for Australia, so in Australian Rally Championship, we used to make all his stuff for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he bought the WRC car from Subaru, sort of the filters that they had on the time didn't suit Australian conditions.
Wow.
So, we developed a new filter for him for that. And
you ever been to a World Rally?
I've never been to a World Rally, no.
Been to a rally?
Yeah,
Yeah.
plenty of times.
It's good, eh?
Yeah.
It's something that not every motorsport fan does.
No.
Like, sadly, but you've got to get to one.
Go and especially, they don't do it so much now in the night time, but you go a night stage and hear the rally cars come through the forest for 10 minutes before they get to you.
Wow, that'd be
It's
cool.
insane.
I've never done that.
Yeah.
We did the World Rally at Coffs. Done it a couple of times, and you can't fathom it. You can't fathom how fast and obviously how skilled these people are. Like, one particular is Sebastian Ogier. I'm going to say it wrong because I'm Australian, but Ogier.
Yeah.
coming through this right corner, and he was sideways through like this big puddle, and it, like everyone else did it differently, but he's particular. I just don't know how he didn't roll, and then it just blows you away. The Coffs Harbour, those roads around there, awesome for it. You know, it was a good time, but I think they've lost it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We saw Possum Bourne one year at Canberra.
Yeah, right.
In the middle of the night, and he comes. It was like we were standing probably 100 metres before a hairpin.
Yep.
And he came past us backwards, already wheels going forwards.
Wow.
To go the other way. It's like, wow, this is the middle of the night, pitch black.
How do you do that? Like, it's a lot of people I know don't even like driving of a night time, let alone doing that of a night time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He you know, you read different stories and that over the years. He must have had like a different sense to people.
I think anyone at that level does.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, probably right. You know, because he has some pretty wild stories as well, I believe, of Possum Bourne. So.
Yeah, but look at any of those rally car drivers back in the day.
Yeah, definitely
crazy.
New Zealand, mate, brings out some pretty good roads to learn from and whatnot. There's some pretty good drivers through there.
Yeah.
What's your favourite form of motorsport?
Favourite form?
Yeah.
Probably MotoGP.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I just think they're on a different level.
Yeah, right.
The speed.
Yeah.
You go and watch them live, and no one should be going that fast.
No. And they just got another speed record a week ago.
Yeah.
354 k's an hour or something.
Yeah, and just to think what damage you can do when you come off.
Yeah, it's huge. You know, and they don't. You know, like they don't damage themselves.
I think it's the best form of motorsport left at the moment.
Yeah, it's still
you can still plenty of scope for people to go down their own path and
develop.
It's everything's so different, but racing is so close. So.
Yeah, I'm a massive GP fan. I Speedway or GP got a bit on the world scale, you know. But yeah, how do you think Marc Marquez will go?
I don't know. They haven't confirmed whether he's riding yet, have they?
He rode yesterday.
Was he racing?
No.
I don't know. He's an unbelievable rider.
It could have been the Stig. I'm not sure, but I tell you, he was on a bike yesterday, and which is cool to see.
Nothing will surprise me.
Nah.
I think if he comes back, I think he'll win.
Yeah.
I think he's a step above everyone at the moment.
Yeah, I think
I'm a Rossi fan, but I still think he's past his prime as such. Still within the top 5 in the world, but
sure.
He's just probably lost that little bit compared to Marquez where he was 20 years ago.
I reckon, and you know, you hear of them saying, you know, if you have a child, you lose a couple of tenths because there's something like the sports psychologists and that.
Yeah.
Obviously, over time, you've got to lose little bits as well, and maybe he has, maybe hasn't. Like maybe it's thousandths, not tenths for Valentino, but he's still there.
Well, he's 40. And he's still in the top 5 riders in the world
consistently. It's unreal, eh?
Not many people continue in a professional sport at 40.
No,
There's only him, Hancock, and Kelly Slater are probably the only pro sports people over 40.
Yeah. I can't think of anyone else that's sort of
like on a world level.
On a world like the best of their ability. When did Schumacher finish Formula 1? He was 30.
Yeah, he wasn't in his 40s.
He wasn't 40s? No.
I don't think so.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Exactly right. I think Valentino's 41.
Yeah.
Troy Bayliss would have went pretty close.
Oh, yeah. Was he on a world stage at that stage?
2008 he finished. He would have been late 30s, maybe, I reckon, when he finished his world title.
Yeah.
So, but
he's still fit.
Oh, yeah, he's
still
right. So, but yeah, I hope it's a good year, like an uninterrupted year of GP.
Yep.
Last year, that end of last year, once it started again, that was unreal. Like as a fan, that was pretty cool to see. So if we have a full year like last year,
I think last year was a great year for MotoGP. So many different winners.
Yep.
Just like AMA Most Supercross at the moment. Every week, someone else is there.
It's huge, eh?
Oh, it's been good.
Good to see Dean Wilson last weekend. He was right up there, and same the weekend before he did pretty well as well. I like to see the two Husqvarnas at the front for the first heat was pretty cool.
Yep.
So, do you reckon Ken will get it, or do you reckon Webb's going to take it now?
I hope Ken gets it. He's
nice
been there for a while.
Yeah,
I do.
Been on the fringe, eh? Like, you know, obviously the huge injury setbacks, and just there, but just not there. Yeah. What about Tomac? Like, I'm a Tomac fan. Everyone knows it.
I like Tomac.
What's going on there?
I don't know. I think it happens in all sports, really. Have one good year,
had a child.
Year.
There's a 10th. But no, it's he's last weekend between him and Roxon, they just couldn't. They're like two superpowers in it, you know. If they're back at 12th, you know that they're going to filter through. But I think the 7th and 8th, I think it was about. Maybe Ken might have got up a bit further, but they were sort of loitering around that mark. I'm like, what's going on there?
It's so close now. It's hard for him to come forward, isn't it?
It is.
It's not like we had Reed, Carmichael, and Stewart. They could
lap up.
They could come down at the first turn and come from 20th to first.
That's right.
Yeah, it's very, very close now.
Well, at that point, they were lapping everyone to about 5th place. You know, in that era. Now it's very hard to do. There's only certain tracks that you see that happening. You know?
Well, sometimes they're 2 seconds a lap faster.
It's huge. Eh?
Over 20 laps, you can do that. But
part A, riders, fitness, health, everything. Part B, the bikes are also good now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the manufacturers have made such good bikes.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do you reckon we'll see out of business, everything over the next decade? Do you think much will change, or is it going to keep? Is it keeping on the same path of off road, and what's happening?
I think in the next probably 5 years, the bike market will continue.
Yeah.
Had such a slow period for a while.
Yeah.
And I just think, especially this last 12 months, has really given it a good kick along. And I don't see it a lot of people got back into riding, which had stopped riding. So it sort of allowed people to get that bug back, and I think it'll continue now. You just look at the bike sales, and you see it's not just big bikes that are selling, it's kids' bikes, which is good.
Yeah.
And there's more kids' bikes on the market now, like Yamaha have come in with their 65, whereas only KTM before.
Yeah.
So there's more variety on the market, which is great.
Yeah.
I think it'll continue, which it definitely needed this kick along.
And that's the thing that like KTM did so well for so many years was starting.
Oh.
You know, all the other brands had it, and then they just dropped it off.
Yeah.
But
well, they stopped developing their kids range.
Yeah.
So like
you get a Pee-wee and then you're lost.
Kawasaki bike didn't change for how long?
Yeah, KX60 was the same thing.
Then Suzuki and Kawasaki were sharing bikes for a while.
Yeah.
And then Yamaha's bike stayed the same for a long, long time. And then they brought out the 65 and went gangbusters.
Yeah, that was a huge kick for it.
And now it's in the kids range, you see just pretty much still orange and blue.
Yeah.
But there's a more sort of a mix now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's you need young riders to come through.
Yeah.
Like without that, the sport and the whole business will just change completely and not happen. So.
Well, KTM did the right thing, starting the kids' bike, and they've got them for life now, don't they?
They did.
And then you'll see Yamaha riders do the same now.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you see a lot more kids on Yamahas, and hopefully they'll continue on, stay on that brand, and vice versa with the KTM.
And it's like everyone, like the first one that you have, even if it was a piece of crap, you'll always remember it as your favourite bike. You know what I mean? Like if it wasn't good, but that bike, maybe it's a Yamaha, you'll always have some sort of brand alliance from that first bike you have, and that's what they need to do.
Just like cars.
Yeah.
You know, if you come from a Holden family, you stay Holden for life.
Yeah.
Come from a Datsun family, you stay Datsun for life.
Are you going to get any more Datsuns?
My wife will let me.
Yeah.
One day.
What's the goal? Is there a particular one?
I do have one particular one. I'll never be able to afford it. But
what is it?
Like the 70s GDR. I would love one of those. Yeah. But I don't have $250,000 to spend on a car.
Crazy money, eh?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Why are they so much? Was it just a limited number, or what's the go?
Limited number,
That's it?
Yeah, pretty much.
They're the ones that had the mirrors on the guard, eh?
Yeah, and they had the sort of a twin cam 6.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, like a 3 litre or something.
They're 2.4. What are they? 2.4.
2.4?
2.4, I think.
Yeah. Cool car.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to come by.
No, I got 1600's always been my favourite car, so lucky enough to own a few of them over the time.
Very cool.
Still got one now.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. It's so hard to find a rear-wheel drive car, no matter what it is, whether it be a Gemini, whether it be a Datsun, whether it be a Commodore, Falcon, all the things. That's under 15 grand nowadays.
Oh, money's gone crazy.
Yeah, even if it's got no panels left on it, it's 15 grand.
No, I see cars like old Datsuns that like 240Ks, and you look at the money they're going for, and they're a rusted bucket of junk, and they're getting 30 grand.
It's crazy.
He's like, I used to buy them for parts and scrap them.
we had a guest on here. We had Ewan from Ellis Speed on here.
Yep.
And when I was doing a bit of research for this show, you guys actually did a DRZ 400 filter for them guys. Yeah. But we had Ewan, and him and I were talking about Trading Post. Well, I was a bit of a Trading Post fan.
Oh, I love Trading Post.
Sports and performance under 5 grand. Like I'd be just scouring it, and there'd be like 351 XD. There'd be this. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I got such a good knowledge of it now. Now that sports and performance under 5 grand section would have nothing in it. Yeah. There'd be a blank page of sports and performance under 30 grand.
Wrecking whole cars. I used to look at that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do that every Wednesday. Is it Thursday or
Wednesday? Or Thursday? I think it's Thursday.
Used to go there on the way to school, pick it up, read it on the bus.
Same here.
We didn't have mobile phones back then, so you could have to wait till you get home and ring up and see if the car was still available. Someone got there before you.
That was such a cool time, and I was exactly the same. And I remember I bought a go-kart Trading Post, and same deal as you're saying. And I had to wait till I got home from school. Get home, Dad, this thing's like an hour away, but it's a bargain. It wasn't a bargain; it was hunk of crap. But you don't know. There was no photos. No one could send you a photo.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get it. Like, can you email me a photo? There was no email.
You had to go off the description.
Description
only.
Take the trip, and
hopefully that's what they said it was.
It was terrible. But it was just the era, and I just really miss seeing some of those cars.
Yeah, I still got a couple of Trading Posts at home from cars that I bought out of it.
Have you?
I always kept the ad.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Mate, they were such a, I don't know, they were like an iconic thing. It was, it's one of the things that it's a shame that's disappeared. Along with the cars at that price, cars and bikes at that price. It was
part of the chase. To get that car.
Yeah, it was.
You used to be able to look through your local paper too and see for cars for sale, and you're like, oh, no one else has seen that.
I'm a sucker for it. I still read the cars section of the paper. Saturday, I flick it. I enjoy it. There's still something about having something on paper that's good, and I don't know, like you can look at the same ad on Gumtree, it might say 20 grand on your phone, but if you look at it in the paper for some reason, I don't know, there's something to it. It's the same thing, but I don't know, it's still got some sentimental thing, I think.
Oh, definitely.
But, well, mate, you've got a meeting with a couple of other businesses while you're in town today. Yep. You've got to get back in your suit and tie and get dressed.
I don't wear a suit, mate.
Nah.
Never have.
That's good, eh?
Only wedding day was the only day I wear a suit.
Yeah, terrible things to wear.
Yep.
But, mate, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your heaps. And, yeah, I look forward to getting back down to your facility. I think I'm back down that way pretty soon.
Yeah, drop in.
Will do. Thanks, mate.
No worries. Cheers.